So Sam, what was your role in the development of Splinter Cell?
My role in the development of Splinter Cell. Well, first Ubisoft brought me in as a technical advisor. For the sake of realism, they wanted input from someone who actually, well, somebody who actually does this kind of work.
But you ended up being the star. How did that happen?
They'd always wanted someone a little older, more professional, more experienced, you know. Not some young goofball that you see in your typical shooter. I think Martin Kaya was the one who decided to actually make me the character, you know, instead of somebody who was based on me.
And how did you find working with the rest of the team?
I've had the good fortune in my life to work with a lot of really talented and professional people. U.S. Navy SEALs, folks at third echelon, all real pros. It was no different here.
What was the hardest part of the job?
Without a doubt, animation. The decision was made that they didn't want to use mocap. They wanted a more artistic feel, so it's all done by hand. So here I am, hanging off everything in the office while Steve and the animators are filming me, you know, to see how I move. Man, I must have spent hours doing the split jump. I hated that part of the job.
Speaking of the artistic feel of Splinter Cell, what are your thoughts on the game's graphics?
Well, most of my experience with video games comes in the form of military training simulators. Needless to say, we're not even the same ballpark here. The fact that Splinter Cell uses light and shadows, I move from the light into the shadows, hide, I'm able to hide. The fact that they use this as the core game mechanic means that these lights, well, they're dramatic and beautiful, but they also create a real dramatic tension and evoke a strong mood.
One more question, Sam. What about the rumors there is a sequel in the works? Have you signed on for Splinter Cell 2?
Unfortunately, I'm not authorized to discuss those matters at this time. Sam's a very frightened guy. You know, that's why he sort of walks in and does stuff like, "Hi, I'm gonna kill you." Because if you're a happy guy, you come in and go, "Hi, I'm gonna kill you." Here we go. Fisher interrogates enemy soldiers who obviously have no information, but he just interrogates them for the hell of it. Stay quiet. You don't want your life to end in the boys' room. I want you to answer some questions. Stay quiet. You don't want your life to end in the boys' room. I want you to answer some questions. When I'm breaking down a character, I usually try and find 6 to 8 levels. Emotional. If they're violent characters, I base them on fear, you know. There's only really 2 disciplines in the universe, love and fear. Why are you here? Why is the Russian military here? Why is the Russian military here? No, it's very hard to do something in an artificial environment and make it real. Who do you work for? And I thought I'd like to try it, to see if I could fit in, because I'm more of a reactor. Hey, smile, try and blink, say cheese, thank you. Given the limitations of the dialogue, given the limitations of the responses and the choices within the game, put character and personality into that. I think I succeeded. Let me do this last one. Bob's your uncle.